Hi everyone, it's Christy here, and I cannot believe that it's been 3 months since my last process video for Project Life. Today I'm working on 4 pages that will sit at the end of my album for 2017, documenting all the books that I've read this year. I did this last year and I absolutely loved how it turned out, so I knew that I wanted to do it again in this album. And Feed Your Craft recently released a kit all about books, and it's called Make Your Mark. Unfortunately, it's all sold out, but there are little bits and pieces of the kit available for individual sale. So I believe the stamp set's available, and the puffy stickers, and the flare as well. So check out their website. I will link it below. I would love Brandy Kincaid and everything that she designs. And when I saw that they would be releasing a book themed kit, I knew I had to have it. It sells out really quickly, but I believe they release new kits like on the 15th of every month. So keep your eyes open for future kits. So I picked out all my cards and printed my photos. So I used the Project Life app to print out the books. I just used Google Images to search the book covers of the books that I've read, and I'm really particular in making sure that I'm saving and printing the correct book cover. So the book that I read, it has to match the photo in my Project Life, just because that's how my mind works. If it's a different cover, then I'm not going to remember. So for example, that Handmaid's Tale cover, that's the cover that I read. So I had to include that specific cover. Anyways, I had the cards all picked out, and there's 4 pages, so did that off camera ahead of time, and now I'm just going through the ephemera. Initially, I had dumped all the ephemera and the flare into the bowl there, but I was finding it was too difficult to search through, and so I just dumped it all out, and it's much easier for me to do that. I just didn't want to miss out on any ephemera pieces. So I'm also stamping, which is something I do not do, but I really wanted to make it a goal for myself to use the stamp set that came with the kit. In addition to the items that came in the kit, really the only other bits and pieces that I'm using are a few cards from Ellie Studio, mostly journaling cards, just to stretch the kit a little bit further. And I'm also using labels from my stash along with some chipboard letters for my title and a few other cards throughout the layouts. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Everything else you see is from the kit. So I'm really loving the colors that Brandy used in her designs. The bright pinks paired with the reds is really interesting to me, and then the greens and the blues as well. I thought it was really great because the book covers that I read, or the books that I've read, all their book covers are tons of different colors, and somehow Brandy's designs seem to pick up in all those colors as well. So it worked out really perfectly. So I decided to use black and white alpha. This is the chipboard alpha. I believe it was from Crate Paper's Valentine's collection for 2017. And I decided on that because I love black in layouts, just that pop of black. And I didn't want the title to compete with all the other colors in the designs, and so I settled on this one. I really liked the white outline as well. I thought about going with the black foam sticker, but I thought, hey, I always kind of do that, so I used these instead. And I used my thicker alignment tool just to place the letters down. It's like a flexible ruler essentially, but it didn't work too well with the chipboard alpha. But if you had another type of sticker alpha, it would work much better. But it served its purpose. So that was the first layout. It went together pretty quickly. I just used a couple embellishments on the card up at the top there that had ampersand. I wanted to cover that up. Added a few labels and did a filler card, and that was about it. So on this layout, the second layout, all the cards that you see are from the Make Your Mark collection, except for that red card at the top row that said Lesson Learned. That was from Ellie Studio. So like I said, I really like the pops of red and pink in this layout, and a lot of the book covers had a lot of red or pops of red, so I wanted to kind of balance it out that way too. I used one of the die cuts that said library and used the alphas to spell out the word love, library love. I'm going to journal on that card just about how I really only bought one book this year. All the other books that I read were from the library, so I thought that was pretty cool and wanted to document that. I'm just looking for a stamp set. It kind of seemed a little bit plain, but I'm gonna use one of these puffy stickers, and I actually forgot about the puffy stickers, so I went back earlier and added a few to the first layout just so that I'm using them throughout all four layouts. So now I have this giant 4x6 card. It seems huge. I don't know I didn't know what to do on that card. I have so many journaling spots, which I loved. I want to really go towards that direction of journaling more, and so I allowed lots of journaling cards. So I found these pencils in the ephemera pack, and I thought that they were really cool. And they have little sayings on them, and I just thought it was perfect. There was three of them. I like things in threes. The colors were great, and I just kind of laid them on top of the card and adhered them. Initially, I had the pink pencil up at the top, but there was part of the design was the same color pink up at the top, so I decided to switch the greeny gray with the pink, and I like the way that that turned out. The lesson learned card had a spot for the date at the bottom, and I really didn't want to put the date on that card, so instead I used one of the puffy stickers to cover up the word, and then I stamped love this part on there. I also added a label on one of the book covers, and I'm going to do some journaling there. I really wanted to journal about books that I really loved, so I made sure to allow some extra journaling right on the cover. I had that Sun card, which was also from Ellie Studio, and I just really didn't like how bold it was. It really had nothing to do with any of the books either, so I was really only including it because it had yellow on it, and I wanted to balance it with that yellow in the book cover in the bottom left. So I dug out the remaining cards I had from the kit and was trying to find something. And on the back of the cards is actually a dot pattern. So I thought that I would use that. But then I took a quick look into my Ellie Studio cards and found this one, and it was exactly what I wanted. It still had that pop of yellow, but allowed a lot of white space with the grid design, and decided to go with that. So, like I said, lots of spots for journaling, but also a few filler cards. And I'm using the puffy sticker there that says read on that yellow rectangle. And then now I'm just trying to kind of decide what to do on this green card with the bookshelf. I was looking at my alphas and I'm really running low on words. I wanted initially to say read more. I was going to put the word more under there. But then I didn't have the right letters. So instead I go with the word math because I read a lot of like crappy books in 2017. Like a lot of books that I don't even really remember. Like that bottom right hand book, After I'm Gone. I have no recollection of reading that book. I could not tell you what it was about. So there was quite a few books that just were less than amazing, and actually all the books in the bottom row there are those for me, so none of those were any good. So I wouldn't read those. But my favorite book that I read was actually one of my favorite books that I read was The Hate U Give. It is definitely one of those books that had a lot of hype behind it, and I was kind of hesitant to read it, but managed to get it through the library, so I gave it a shot and I actually really liked it. I also, on the previous page, talked about one of the puffy stickers said, "You have a way with words." And when I saw that, I knew I wanted to write or use it on a journaling card about Fredrik Backman, the author Fredrik Backman, because I read two of his books in 2017. I read Beartown and I read Britt Marie Was Here. I also got another book from the library by him, but I didn't manage to read it in time, or even start it actually in time before it needed to be returned. So I was so impressed with him as an author, and I really want to make it a goal to read more of his books in 2018. So I was looking at this page, and I knew I wanted to bring the alphas in, but like I said, I was kind of limited. So I was looking, and never would I have thought that I would use the word thug in one of my pocket pages, but The Hate You Give is based on the word thug. And if you've read the book, then that will make more sense to you. But so I added that, and then I wanted to add some journaling, so I just used this label. Unfortunately, I did not have a large pink label in its entirety, so I just used this piece that I had in my stash, and then I layered a black label underneath and added another one of the mini flare. The mini flare did not come in the kit, but I added it separately. It was really affordable and super cute, and so it came in a pack of 4, and they already have the adhesive on the back, which I really love. Here I am doing a filler card. I wanted to go with pink. I didn't really know what to do with this design, but I really love the simplicity. It says, "I'd rather be reading," and just added that puffy sticker there. So I read 29 books, but I only have 28 books pictured. I just finished my 29th book, so I'm going to have to find a spot to include that photo. But the book that I just finished reading was Poison, Dark, and Drowning, which is the second book in the trilogy to that book that I'm working on right now, A Shadow, Bright, and Burning. And if you like young adult dystopian type reads, I highly recommend that series. The second book just came out, and so the third book, I believe, will probably come out in September of 2018. But I really loved the second book, like, loved it. I didn't really know how I was going to use those news die cuts, but decided to pair it with the book A House in the Sky, which is about a Canadian journalist who was kidnapped. And so that was a story that definitely made the news. And so her book was really great also. And I actually had the chance to see her talk at an event just in October. So that was pretty cool to include. And also, I liked journaling, including that in the journaling. So I just was looking at the 4 pages or the 2 pages next to each other just to make sure that the balance is great. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and really happy with the kit. So if you have any questions about the kit or want to check it out, I'll leave the link in the description box. I appreciate you watching and being here, and I'm really going to make it a goal in 2018 to be more present here on YouTube with more videos for you. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye!